Just, the ones that aren't healthy is, Carson Shetty hurt his wrist last week, and then Bonnie's had a little issue with the hamstring, tried to come back, hit a ball the other day, ran out of the box and kind of tweaked it again. So he says he's good to go, but we're not going to let him play. He's not good to go, I don't feel like. And then Murphy, left-hander Murphy, he's his back, he's been having a little problem with his lower back, and I think he just needs a little time off. He threw the ball extremely well this fall. So other than that, I think we're in good shape.
Kevin Cox, arm, how did he hurt it, and then what's the prognosis for him?
Well, looking at the video, it looked like he hurt it making an off-balance throw to third. There was a runner on second, one out. And actually the base runner made a base running mistake. It was a high chopper. He fielded it. And at the last second, he looked back and saw the runner break, and he just threw off balance, sidearm, and he kind of shook his arm after that. Got on the mound and threw one pitch, and then he said, "My arm hurts." So, we feel like it was just kind of a freak accident. Disappointed for him because he was having such a good fall, throwing the ball extremely well. One of our top relievers, might have been able to start. On the positive side is that, if he did have a little issue in there and it would have shown up during the season of 18, then he would have been out next year as well. At least we know he'll be ready to go in 2019. He already had it. Yeah, he had it in Houston about, I'd say, 10 days ago. Yeah.
They both talked about Isaiah and just how he's looking like Isaiah of the old. How big has that been for you guys this fall season?
Well, it's been, big as far as knowing that, you have Knight and Campbell, a couple of frontline guys. I think Murphy's made a huge move, and got some other guys that are making moves. I think Reindl and then a couple of the young guys have tremendous arms. So, but, just knowing that Campbell's healthy and he feels good, he hasn't had any problems, we're just trying to build him up, We're not letting Knight and Campbell pitch against each other. They're opposite games. They have pitched against each other all fall. There's a lot of competition there, and we just want them to stay under control, get through the fall, get better, get healthy, and then get strong over the break and be ready to go in February.
So they said Isaiah was going tomorrow. Who would go against him if that's not?
I forget who's. I think Reindl's going tomorrow. Rutledge, yeah. See, so much do I know. It's all the same to me. I just want to get through it, to be honest with you.
Which Rutledge, righty or lefty?
Oh, the righty.
You like him?
I like him a lot. I mean, he's 6'7". He throws, he's got a plus curveball, and his velocity right now is 92 to 95, 96, just about every pitch. And if you talk to the hitters, they don't like hitting off of him. He's just wild enough to scare you, but he throws a lot of strikes as well. So, just got to continue to get him in shape, and he'll be ready to really help us this spring.
Is Casey a player that you think can play right away for you?
Oh, yeah. Casey's incredibly talented. He can play anywhere. He's the fastest base runner on the team. He's got a tremendous arm. He's got big-time bat speed. You can't throw the fastball by him. He's just got to, do a little bit better job recognizing all-speed pitches, and a lot of young hitters struggle with that. But he can play third, second. He could play short. He could play outfield. I see him playing a lot as a freshman.
Both guys talked about how they think this is the best team they've been on since they've been here, leadership-wise, all the way down to town.
Well, I think we have a good group. I was really excited about the freshmen that showed up. We don't have any junior college transfers this year. It just kind of worked out that way. 13, 14 guys that are in here, and realistically, I'd say 95% of them have a chance to play and contribute this year, and they're all should help out down the road as well. But I just think we got some good guys back. We do have a lot of talent. Haven't had too many seniors on my teams over the years that played much. On this team, we've got a couple that should start, and they've had a great attitude this fall, and they've led well. And I think the younger guys, they just work. There's not a lot of guys in here talking, and that's what you like to see from the young guys.
Has Martin been working out mostly at third?
Third and second.
Okay.
He'll battle to play some third. Kinley's had a really good a really good fall for us. Had a really good summer, hit over 300 with a wood bat, so the bat's coming. Kinley's been playing a lot of shortstop, and he's been really good at short. And, just in case we have an injury there, I already know he can play third, So, Easton Morrell has played a lot of third, switch hitter that has had a very good fall offensively, and he's a pretty good defender. All of these guys were shortstops in high school, so, they should be able to play on the left side without a problem.
Carson really didn't shy away from talking about the errors that he's committed the last couple of years, but he said he feels a lot different at second. I wonder what you've seen different from him.
Well, he's just really comfortable now, and he knows how to play the position. He knows instincts take over a little bit. He knows where to be most every time, and I think that he's just gotten better. He's with experience and repetition and just playing. He was having a really good fall, both with the bat and the glove.
Is it their injuries? Is that what made you put them as player coaches?
Yeah,
or was it them being seniors or a
No, they'd be playing.
Okay.
Oh yeah, they'd be playing, but we've got a hamstring, and I don't want them just watching. Let's let them get involved and feel what it feels like to be out there and see if they can direct traffic and make a good decision here or there. And I think that way they'll get into it a little bit more.
I know you don't want to see them hurt or anything, but is it good maybe to let those at-bats go to the younger guys?
That's a good question. It did open up some at-bats. It has the last week or so because there are some young guys that are still trying to make the team or, maybe prove that they've improved over the last 4 or 5 weeks and, could make a move to help us in the spring. But, I'm disappointed that they're hurt. But at the same time, the older guys, a lot of times this time of year, they're ready to get in the weight room a little more anyway. But, it's definitely opened up some at-bats for some guys.
You told me before, sometimes it's not so much about talent, but how the players feel about each other, the team. I wonder what you've seen from there.
Well, I mean, talent's huge, obviously, especially at this level. But I think what I mean there is it just makes for a good locker room. If the guys like each other, they show up every day with a smile on their face, and they seem to win a little more and play a little better. And it's always good when the feedback after the first month and a half here from the older guys that they really like the younger guys and they feel good about the leadership. That's some good feedback because it's not always that way, and a lot of times it takes a long time to develop that. I think the culture around here is pretty good. The older guys realize that for us to get where we want to get, and that's to regionals and to the World Series, we have to have good freshmen. We have to have freshmen help us. There's just, with the scholarship limitations, your freshmen have to contribute. They don't have to be a star, but they have to help.
What have you seen from the guys working with Nate this fall? The improvement they made, I know there's differences, but just the improvement.
Yeah. It's like I always tell players, you're going to play for a lot of different coaches if you play for a while, whether it's in the minor leagues or in the big leagues, and you just try to learn from everybody that's working with you. I think Nate brings a little bit of a different philosophy. He brings different drills, and some work for players and make them feel good. He's all about keeping that bat in the zone as long as you can and, hitting the ball over someone's head. And we want to hit the ball hard. And that's probably the main thing is get off our best swing. We're always talking about just get off your best swing. If you get a hit or you swing and miss, that's the way the game goes. But, when you swing.
Is Jared Gates still playing first for you?
Yeah, he's had a really good fall. He's hitting the ball extremely well. Obviously, he's better at first. And if we started tomorrow, he'd be starting over there, probably hitting right in the middle of the order.
What's McFarland doing?
McFarland's doing a little bit of everything. He got off to a real slow start. In summer ball as well, and then the last 3 weeks he kicked it into gear. I talked with his summer coach a little bit after the season was over. He's also playing some outfield. He's gotten a lot better out there. He played there in the summer. I think he would like to play some in the outfield, and he will for us. As far as in the spring of 18, I think he'll play first and outfield, and in the spring of 19, I think he has a really good opportunity to be our starting first baseman every day, or maybe some outfield. But we have a lot of good outfielders, and some of them are young.
With Rutledge, we've heard a lot about his power. What else? What other kind of pitches does he throw?
Well, he's got a real good slider, working on his changeup, and he's just a big kid. Big guys usually throw. You got big hands, throws what we call a heavy ball. It's got a little natural sink on it. you know, but he's just one of a couple that have done well, you know, for us.
How intimidating can a guy that's that big be for you guys on the mound?
Well, I think that you know, it's almost like that the mound's closer to the hitter with a guy that size. He just, you know, the release point's out front. It's a little harder to pick up. You know, he can be intimidating just because he throws hard, and you know, when it gets away from him a little bit, it's up and in, and then you see that big body coming at you. The fact that he's a freshman sometimes it bothers hitters because they feel like they're not as experienced with their command. They're not as good with their command. But, you know, he's got a lot going for him, and, you know, he's got stuff that can get out hitters. You know, he's had a bad inning or two, and that's where we really get to try to evaluate, can he slow the game down a little bit when things aren't going good, because it speeds up, and that's when it gets out of hand. And I think he's learned a little bit this fall.
How does this friendly competition to kind of end what you guys like to do in the fall?
Yeah, it's kind of like you say. We want to see some guys give it a really good effort and not just roll through it and try to get off the field and, you know, like I said, get to the weight room and individual work and that type of things. We want to see guys compete hard, and you know, every now and then you'll see a guy that has had an okay fall that really gets after it, has a great series, and it's like I told him yesterday. You know, that's kind of what we're going to go to winter with. We're going to get to, you know, how you finished it. You know, what type of player, you know, were you in the series when it meant a little bit more. You know, obviously we're not playing somebody else, but it's as close as we can get. So I want it to be a little chippy, so to say. I don't want them, you know, being, you know, bad about it, but just make it fun, make it competitive, and you know, play extremely hard, and let's see what happens.
With Cobb's injury, have you seen guys? I know it's a couple weeks old. Have you seen some guys maybe step up into that kind of role?
Well, mentally, the coaching staff, we're looking for guys to do that. We feel like that there will be you know, more innings available for some of these younger guys, and obviously you have to make adjustments when you have injuries. But yeah, there's guys stepping it up. I think they realize, hey, that just opened up a spot right there. There's some more innings for me.